Before we get back to the music, we have one more speaker for you. Russell Barsh is from Kwiáht. It's an organization on Lopez. The Center for the Historical Ecology of the Salish Sea is one way to put it, but Russell runs an organization that does pure science and a whole lot more. He really tries to, as Julie Lloyd was saying, we talk about what was here and what isn't anymore. Russell is working hard to do a whole variety of studies around the islands to help really show us what's here now. So we've got a clear baseline. We'll have stories and some good background, but we'll have some good science to see how we do as we make changes here in the islands. Here on Orcas, Russell has worked with a number of schools and with a number of teachers here on the island and the beach watchers who have been trained with the WSU extension program to develop something kind of a combination of science and education right here in Fishing Bay off of Eastsound. It's called the Indian Island Marine Health Observatory, and Russell's going to come up and talk about that. Russell.
Well, this is a beautiful, wonderful day to talk about Indian Island because for those of you who have a little time before the sun goes down, the island is accessible. The rocky reef is exposed a bit right now. I noticed a few people out enjoying themselves as I was walking over here, and it is indeed one of the great biological treasures of San Juan County. We have many beautiful and wonderful things here, from whales to wonderful seabirds and marine mammals of all kinds, but a great deal of biodiversity, more than you might think, lives right here on the Eastsound waterfront. In fact, I would have to say it's one of the most diverse places we've found, despite the fact that it's effectively just off Main Street. Native people long used Indian Island as a source of food. There was a large village here in Eastsound, and the folks in that village gardened on the island, did shell fishing around it, and also caught fall kings. It was a salmon fishing area right around Indian Island, and kings were taken there until actually quite recently. So it was a huge source of food, and indeed it was the breadbasket of the Native American community that preceded the town of Eastsound. The good news is there's still a lot of it there. It's not gone yet. In fact, we're quite delighted with how much diversity we still see. Just yesterday we were over doing a research trip, and we found red octopus on the island, which is really cool. There is a great diversity of sea slugs, nudibranchs, which is always a good indicator of an underlying healthy ecosystem. We're always seeing the little native seahorse, the little green bay pipefish, which is the native seahorse of the Pacific Northwest. It abounds in Indian Island. I've never seen so many of them as we have right here, again, just off the main street. So it's a really special and diverse place. Although, of course, as this town continues to grow, as it continues to expand in terms of people and business, we're going to have to be very careful not to destroy this beautiful jewel that the people of Eastsound and Orcas Island have inherited. That was the thinking behind our working with a number of partners, Beach Watchers, WSU Beach Watchers, the San Juan Nature Institute, the Bureau of Land Management, the Orcas Island School District, many more who made it possible for us to organize the Indian Island Marine Health Observatory to do research, to do marine education, above all to do monitoring and to develop a dialogue within Eastsound with everyone who lives and works here in Eastsound about taking care of the island and making sure that as the town grows, it still has its window on the sea and this wonderful marine asset for children to learn on, for everyone on Orcas to enjoy, and as what we tend to think is one of the great attractions of this island and this town. The Indian Island Marine Health Observatory is also something of a prototype. It's the template for programs that we're developing in the other two urban growth areas in San Juan County. The Friday Harbor Marine Health Observatory, a partnership with the Port of Friday Harbor, just launched a couple of months ago, and the Fisherman Bay Marine Health Observatory that will focus on Fisherman Bay and Lopez Village is recruiting right now, working with the new cohort of beach watchers and a number of Lopez volunteers. So this is the beginning of an attempt to see that all of our urban waterfronts in San Juan County have local volunteers, scientists, educators, and just folks who care working together to monitor our impacts on our most precious local marine ecosystems, the one closest to most of us, and both learning about them and helping cooperatively take care of them with everyone who enjoys and uses them. Of course, it all does depend ultimately on lots of people besides scientists like myself. It wouldn't work without a large number of people here on Orcas who have taken to heart the task of visiting the island, test fishing, doing invertebrate surveys, checking sediment deposition, chemical contamination testing, all sorts of things that are part of keeping an eye on Eastsound's window to the sea, keeping an eye on the island, and trying to learn more about how it's doing. So I would like to see if we've got some of our Beach Watcher volunteers here. We've got sweatshirts with the Indian Island logo on them. You'll see more of that logo as we go on. I see one volunteer there. Come on, introduce yourself. Sheldon, someone else without a t-shirt, but very much a volunteer of great value to us. Got anyone else close by in the gang? Okay, well, we have about 25 people who are all rotating through different jobs, and look for, when there's a low tide, look for people down on the beach wearing that white pullover with the maroon-colored Indian Island logo on it. It's got a big porcelain crab on the back, one of the characteristic little animals that we find over there. Don't hesitate to ask questions. Come along and help. Help hold a fish, pull a net, whatever we're doing down there. We welcome as much public participation as possible. Bring your kids. The schedule is published. We have information in the visitor's guide. The WSU Beach Watchers blog for San Juan County has our events on the calendar, the online calendar. So everyone is most welcome to come and learn about Indian Island and help us do the job of watching the wildlife there and taking the pulse of the marine ecosystem at Eastsound. So with that, I would just like to say I hope you all have already had or will soon have a chance to see just how beautiful a place it is. Check out the wildlife there. Do it with care. Leave it as you found it. It's very sensitive, although, again, we're really happy that it's still here and it may be here for generations to come. Find a beach watcher or visit the Beach Watchers booth here, the WSU Beach Watchers booth. Grab me or any of the volunteers you see with one of those white logo sweatshirts. And if you'd like to volunteer, come and visit, bring your kids, or even help us pay for supplies and materials, which will always be welcome, let us know. Thanks all. Have a wonderful afternoon.